Well, I think you have to navigate through that. I think when you have an emotion like this, the next day you have to bring it a little bit down, use it because it's still there, and the atmosphere will still remain there tomorrow at the Emirates. The first thing that you do when you come in there, those moments are going to come, and we have to use it in a powerful way. All of us, our supporters, to start to generate that energy, that belief, and do what we have to do to go through to the quarterfinals.
Could you please give us some examples of how you do manage that to the group and how you do bring it down?
In terms of?
The emotions, the stress, the players, the way that they're thinking and feeling.
In a very different way. I think doing different activities, the manner that you talk to them, just your tone can activate certain things in them. My presence or not my presence, the conversation that they have between them, I think, in my opinion, are the most powerful ones. And this group has evolved a lot with our recent history to manage those situations better.
What kind of activities?
You're going to insist. At the end of the season, we can tell you a few.
Okay, on this side, we'll go with John.
Hello, Mikel. You've actually reserved some of your best performances this season for Europe, haven't you? I mean, fantastic performances against Bayern, Atletico Madrid. Do you need to kind of summon that energy again for tomorrow night? How big an occasion is it in European terms, do you feel, tomorrow?
Yeah, when you come to that stage in the competition, you really have to elevate your game to a different level, collective and individually, for sure, in the competition. And tomorrow is one of those nights when we're going to need the best from all of us in a really consistent way throughout the game to be through.
I'm just thinking about the energy at the end of that game. I mean, you can, I don't know, embrace that, take that forward. That might be a game-changing moment, mightn't it, for the rest of the season starting tomorrow?
That's what we want, and when you have that momentum, maintain it and improve it. And the fact that you go from competition to competition, you have to use it. We know what is at stake. We know how much we want it, and we're going to show that tomorrow.
Simon, on the other side?
Yeah, Mikel, just on that, is that one where that sort of the emotion in the second half, even before you scored, it felt like the atmosphere, the fans were trying to lift the team, where you just want to bottle that, and for this run-in now, you say to the fans, look, that 45 minutes, the atmosphere you brought then, every time you come through, this is what you needed to bring?
Yes, probably, because living it is the best way to understand and to recognize how powerful it is. And when you're in that stadium with that atmosphere, you just have the sense that it's going to happen. And we have plenty of examples throughout the last few years that when we created at the Emirates, we make it very center for us and very, very difficult for the opponent.
I can just ask you as well, with Max, I know you said with young players in the past that you want to cook them slowly. How hard is it to do that with Max?
Depends. I think they have to cook at the optimal speed in relation to what they need and what they demand. And yeah, he's knocking the door at 16, saying, I'm good enough and I can impact this team whenever it's needed. And he's doing it when he's playing.
And what do you make of people when they talk about England, the World Cup?
I don't know. I haven't heard that, but let's go game by game, please.
Ed, Guardian.
Hi, Mikel. Yeah, just on Max and the way he's reacted to everything, scoring his first goal. I'll take it you're not surprised with how cool he looked. He just sort of expected that moment to come.
Well, I didn't expect that kind of goal, that's for sure. But his attitude and his decision making, yes. If not, I wouldn't made the decision to play him. But then to be that he delivered, that's obviously something difficult to imagine.
And the way that his teammates reacted to it, do you think some of his youthful enthusiasm can rub off on them? They've had a long, hard season, and now he's coming in fresh.
That's a good point. I think it's very inspiring when you see someone almost naive, making decisions and flowing and careless, playing in that manner, in that context, is great. And I think probably our players realized as well. It's a good example, playing with that flow and enthusiasm is actually very beneficial for the team.
Okay, last couple, first it is and then John.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
On the touchline, jacket off, eyes bulging, you seemed very much... you seemed very animated. You obviously do get animated at times, but on Saturday it seemed to a different level. What was it about that moment in particular that just kind of gripped you so much?
I don't know, I felt it. I felt that the team needed something else. I was desperate to do anything that it could take to win the game and to help the boys to deliver that moment. And I wanted to be there, present, supporting them, playing every ball with them, make them feel that that I'm there, that we are all there, because it's not me, it's all the staff, and hopefully another 60,000 people with them, and put all the passion and energy that we can to give our best to win.
Just one on Max. In terms of obviously his performance, a lot's been made of him for a while here in terms of the hype and how good he is. In terms of protection, he's obviously had an Adidas advert with Ian Wright in recent weeks. He's obviously very much in the spotlight now. How do you kind of protect him, because he is only a kid at the end of the day?
I need your help with that, guys. Because if we say that and I have 15 questions on Max, it doesn't really help. So if we just bring the temperature down and understand what is the best thing for this boy at his age. He's doing something phenomenal. We all know that. Let's keep it down a little bit and respect the nature to do what he has to do, which I'm sure is going to be something really good.
And finally, John.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Sorry to ask about Max again there after what you just said. but
John.
it's because he's so
John,
exciting
the
for...
points you made, so...
It's because he's so exciting for the whole of England, isn't he? The whole of football. It's just amazing to have this player.
Yeah.
Are you happy to share this excitement with the whole country? Because there will be a time when he's going to get picked for England, isn't he?
I mean, my way to express it is to give him game time, no? What else can I do? The rest is on you guys.
Yeah. But it is so exciting for such...
Yes, very exciting.
Yeah.
Enough.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Right, let's get back to Arsenal now, who play in the Champions League against Bayer Leverkusen at the Emirates tonight. They left it late to get a draw in the first leg and followed that up with more late drama to beat Everton on Saturday. But it sent them 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League, and Ricardo Calafiori says they're relishing the chance to make the most of their strong positions in all competitions.
The huddle or just him?
Both him and the huddles, yeah.
Yeah, no, I like him as a person, and yeah, I think I can learn so much from him, especially because he was a top player and he played for top teams. So yeah, he gave to me and to all the defenders so many advices, and we always listen to him. And also, as I said, I like him as a person as well.
James.
Hi, Ricardo. Obviously, there have been some frustrating moments since you came to Arsenal with injuries. Just want to get a sense now that you've come back in the last few weeks. Do you feel like you're fully fit and you can trust your body for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I always trusted my body. If you think about last season, I was, in my point of view, really unlucky because it was both MCLs in a really strange way, and this obviously it didn't help me a lot. But this season, I mean, until December, I was feeling amazing, and then injuries are part of our work. Unfortunately, I would love to be always fit, and we try always our best, but sometimes you have to accept. But anyway, as I said before, this season we made a huge step in terms of the depth of the squad, so we have so many players that can help the team, and now that I'm back I feel good, so
you mentioned the depth there. You've got not just Piero, Miles, Julian as well, I guess, as a left back. What's the competition like between you guys on the training field right now?
I think we're all friends. Like I love them, and I have a good relation with them, and we are friends first of all. Obviously, then on the pitch you try to compete to get ahead of them, but yeah, we are friends, and they're all really good players, I think.
Hi, Ricardo. In terms of your playing style, it's quite an unusual way in terms of defender with the attacking elements. You find yourself in some crazy positions in the final third and the back line. How has that developed, and is that something that you'd look to bring to Arsenal?
Yeah, I think it's something that when I feel free on the pitch, I just try to help the team to be in this position where they can find me, and when we can find a solution to hurt them, to hurt the opposition. And obviously Mikel is it doesn't say to me specifically where to go, but it gives me a bit of a freedom, and I love playing like that. But at the same time, we have to remember that I'm a defender as well. So first of all, the most important thing, like I proved, I think the last week and on Saturday, is to defend our goal, and yeah, we're really fighting with all our bodies and whatever to save the team and to save the result. So I think this mentality is much more important.
And is that a feature that kind of defines the Arsenal backline, that you guys are willing to put any body part on the line to save goals and to win at the end of the day?
Yeah, for sure. as I said, it's a big part of our mentality, and it's so important, especially because at this level we're talking about details, so this can change the game or the season.
I was just going to follow on from that, really, about the block, taking you back to the block. I mean, it's probably instinctive, but it shows you just how much it means, doesn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think about it too much. I just look at the guy who was shooting, and I thought I had to cover the much space as possible, and I just reacted, and yeah. But as I say, we love to defend our house, our goal, and we try to do everything.
I think I've seen it called as a scorpion block. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I like the name, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you were just saying there about defending your house and your team. Is that the sort of the pride that runs through that defence? I mean, it's another clean sheet on Saturday. It means a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's so important. As you mentioned, I think when we got a clean sheet, most of the times, I mean, we win the game. So it's really important for us.
Getting the snaps today.
How do you find your low light on the camera?
Not really been in a scenario where it's been fully tested yet. It's a bit weird. I'm still getting used to it. Like I was doing a thing the other day where I had a proper top light on someone in a darkish room.
Yeah.
And it looked quite bright on the screen, but then I got it in resolve and it was quite dark.
Yeah, it doesn't have that high image sensor thing as the Panasonic. You have to do it with the gain.
Yeah.
I did some testing. You go up to 22 plus gain without use of quality in HD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not late around too.
Because I did a boxing presser where I was missing you. But
as is Gabriel Jesus, who placed him on the list. Hoping there could be a goal tomorrow. A big week for the Leeds Cup.
you can shoot that on your iPhone. What did you say? 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
certainly starting to feel like crunch time for Arsenal. It's been more than 2,000 days since their last major trophy. That was the FA Cup in 2020. They do have a chance to break that streak this weekend in the Carabao Cup final against Manchester City. Their opposing manager tonight, Bayer Leverkusen's Kasper Kuhlmann, says the expectations on Arsenal can be a useful energiser for his team.
I think there's also motivation in the way the pressure that Arsenal has. It's great. For me, as a coach, we're in sports. It's the next 2 months. Everything is decided. They have been building up for this for seasons, year after year, and now they're here. So they have a squad that has been built for the last. Mikel is the 6th or 7th season. They have built the squad to compete.
Thierry Henry has suggested football fans are hoping Arsenal's wait for a Premier League title goes on a little longer, despite the fact it's been 22 years since they were last crowned champions of England. Speaking on the Monday Night Football, Jamie Carragher also added a mix of Arsenal's style. Their fans and even Mikel Arteta can, quote, rub people up the wrong way.
A lot of people are like, anything but Arsenal winning the league, which I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, I'm going to mean, usually you kind of, you know, I wanted them to win the league when I was playing because I wanted Jamie to win the league. I wanted Stevie G to win the league. You know, whether I like Liverpool or not, it's just, you know, you root normally for the underdog, for the guy or the team that couldn't do it or failed, but for some reasons, a lot of people don't want Arsenal to win the league.
I think it's very strange, and maybe it's the same at the weekend with the Carabao Cup final. When you have a team like, say, Manchester City, or that was maybe Manchester United in the past, who dominate an era, most neutrals want not the underdog, but the team who's sort of battling with them. You don't want to see them win again. It doesn't feel like there is that feeling with Arsenal, Manchester City. I think a lot of sort of, maybe even Manchester United fans and Liverpool fans, even though they've, you know, City's the local rival for United and Liverpool have been fighting City for titles, are almost looking and thinking, I might rather Manchester City win it than Arsenal. There is something about Arsenal and the way they've gone about it, whether you like it or not, whether it's the style of football, whether it's Arteta on the side of the pitch, whether it's what Hertel was saying, these type of things. There is something about them. Maybe it's the fan base on social media gets a little bit of criticism that maybe rubs people up the wrong way.
Henry has also jumped to the defence of Arsenal's style this season. Their former striker says he doesn't have to like it, but he does respect it.
Look, I always say, and I talk to Jamie sometimes, I don't even talk about people. I don't have to like it, even myself as an Arsenal fan, but I surely respect it. That's the most important thing. And after 22 years, again, I'm not saying we're going to win the league. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, no matter how we're going to do it, I will respect that. And that is for sure.
So, but you don't like watching the team?
It's not about watching what I like. It's not about what you like. It's not about what my mom likes or my dad likes. I'm not in a dressing room. I don't know what they're about. I said it here, over there, in that chair. We asked Mikel Arteta to find a way. He did. Simple as that,
but
whatever I like or not.
You have an opinion on whether you like the football.
I want to win the league 22 years. I want to win the league. That's the big one for me.
Does that go above everything else?
Yeah. When you didn't win it for 22 years, yes.
Some of the nonsense that's been spoke about Arsenal from other people in the game about sort of there be an asterisk around their name if they win the league, or I don't recognise them as title win, is absolute nonsense. We analyse football teams on this show every week, all season, every year. There's no right or wrong way to play football. It's about being the best at what you do. And right now, whether you like it or not as an Arsenal supporter, they're going to be remembered as the set-piece team.
I'm personally happy, regardless of what I love to see the game or what I like to see or if I enjoy it or not. 22 years. Listen to me. I don't want to jinx it, but 22 years is a long time.
You had here.
Now, Mikel Arteta says teenage sensation Max Dowman could be the spark that Arsenal need as they chase silverware on 4 fronts. A 16-year-old became the youngest Premier League goal scorer at the weekend with his stunning solo goal against Everton. Arteta is weighing up giving him a Champions League role against Bayer Leverkusen tonight, with a Carabao Cup final against Manchester City just days away.
I think it's very inspiring when you see someone almost naive, you know, making decisions and flowing and careless, playing in that manner, in that context. is great. And I think probably our players realized as well. It's a good example, you know, playing with that flow and enthusiasm is actually very beneficial for the team.
Just ask you as well with Max. I know you said with young players in the past that you want to cook them slowly. How hard is it to do that with Max?
Depends. I think they have to cook at the optimal speed in relation to what they need and what they demand. And yeah, he's knocking the door at 16, saying I'm good enough and I can impact this team whenever it's needed. And he's doing it when he's playing.
And what do you make of people when they talk about England, the World Cup?
I don't know. I haven't heard that, but let's go game by game, please.
How excited should we be about Max Dowman moving forward, Thierry?
Very, very. You know, I was there when I did it, and if someone told me he was going to have the career that he had, I would have said maybe. But what you need to do is to make sure that we can also protect him along the way, because we have a special talent here, not only for Arsenal but for English football. But let's not get overexcited with that. Am I happy that he's at Arsenal? Hell yeah, I'm happy he's at Arsenal. But we also need to protect him and not go too far too early with what he can achieve.
The great players who start as youngsters and go on to have great careers, they always have moments that you remember as a youngster. You have to make that impact. He's done that. It almost feels inevitable he'll go on to have a really good career. But as Thierry's right there, how special we do not know yet. There's still a lot of pitfalls and obstacles he's got to overcome. He's only a young man, but what a start he's made.
Well, the question now is, though, actually, should Dowman be in Thomas Tuchel's plans for the World Cup this summer? Well, we put the question to journalists John Cross and Sam Dean on Back Pages tonight.
No, not this time. He will go to the next World Cup, be England's best player with Jude Bellingham, I think, and be an absolute superstar, but don't put too much pressure on him and too much expectation right now, because honestly, there's so much to come from this kid. He's an absolute diamond. Don't waste it now.
I think if England was short of attacking midfielders or wingers, I could see an argument that Dowman could be the kind of wild card bolter option. But fundamentally, there are so many great players in that position for England that they're going to have to leave out established internationals, Premier League winners perhaps, from the squad as it is. So let's not be too hasty. Let's not go too mad about the Max Dowman mania.
The Premier League leaders. Thierry Henry has suggested football fans are hoping Arsenal's wait for a title goes on a bit longer, despite the fact it's been 22 years since they were last crowned champions of England. Speaking on Monday Night Football, Jamie Carragher also added a mix of Arsenal style, their fans, and even Mikel Arteta can, quote, rub people up the wrong way.
I don't have to like it, even myself as an Arsenal fan, but I surely respect it. That's the most important thing. And after 22 years, again, I'm not saying we're going to win the league. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, no matter how we're going to do it, I will respect that. We asked Mikel Arteta to find a way. He did. Simple as that, whatever I like or not.
You have an opinion on whether you like the football.
I want to win the league 22 years. I want to win the league. That's the big one for me.
Does that go above everything else?
Yeah. When you didn't win it for 22 years, yes. A lot of people are like, anything but Arsenal winning the league, which I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, I'm going to mean, usually you kind of, you know, I wanted them to win the league when I was playing, because I wanted Jamie to win the league. I wanted Stevie G to win the league. You know, whether I like Liverpool or not, it's just, you know, you root normally for the underdog, for the guy or the team that couldn't do it or failed, but for some reasons, a lot of people don't want Arsenal to win the league.
There is something about Arsenal and the way they've gone about it, whether you like it or not, whether it's the style of football, whether it's Arteta on the side of the pitch, whether it's what Hertel was saying, these type of things. There is something about them. Maybe it's the fan base on social media gets a little bit of criticism that maybe rubs people up the wrong way in terms of wanting them to go on. So it is a little bit different what Thierry's just mentioned, how the feeling is.
Charlie Austin, good morning. Right, do you agree with Henry or Carragher?
I think on the situation, it's when you're looking at it, I think I get what Thierry Henry's saying, 22 years, don't care how it happens, just win the league. But I think now the way the game's evolved and off-the-field stuff with social media, that plays a massive part in fans obviously having opinions. And one of the reasons why a lot of people get annoyed, I guess, with Arsenal fans and Mikel Arteta. Some of the sideline antics that Mikel Arteta does can irritate people, but ultimately they've been the best team in a poor Premier League this year.
Are they getting the respect that they deserve? Because they are top of the league and very much in control.
No, they're not, because, and I've been here also in previous shows, I'm going to say no, because all that said is set pieces. They score a lot of goals from set pieces. When actually, do you know what? Yeah, they do, but also they do enough to get over the line in other aspects as well. So are they getting the respect? No, they are head and shoulders above everybody else in the Premier League at this present moment. Do I expect them to go on the end of the season and win the league? I do now, after Man City have just dropped off. But I don't think they're fully getting the respect that they deserve. And always Mikel Arteta.
In terms of their style of play, are we as football fans and the media, do we have some sort of responsibility for that? Because we've said in the past, Arsenal play beautiful football, but they're not winning anything. Now they're not playing that beautiful football, and it looks like they're going to win quite a bit.
Well, there you go. You can cake and eat it. You play good football and don't win nothing, or the football not be great and you win. So for us, everybody connected to Arsenal Football Club was great watching them playing free-flowing football, but when it comes to crunch time, not winning anything is an issue. Now they've gone, right, we're going to adapt our game, and it looks like we're going to win a couple of trophies. I don't think anyone at Arsenal really that bothered about that.
It's strange because fans have different opinions. Obviously, that's what football's all about. But for me as a football fan, I don't care how my club play. I'm happy if we're winning or we get a decent draw. I'm not that bothered about the style of football, but some fans very much are. You've got to do it our way. So what do you think the Arsenal fans think?
Yeah, but there ain't no... What do you mean our way?
Well, that's the big question.
Yeah, but what is our way?
Even managers ask, what do you mean by our way?
Well, there ain't no... The only way that any football fan, in my opinion, any football fan supporting their club, their way is whatever way the manager decides to play. And you have to buy into the manager's style of play, whatever that may be. And they've tried the free-flowing football, and that's our way with Arsenal. Then he's adapted and changed and gone, right, I'm going to try something different. It looks like he's paying off at the moment.
In terms of attacking, attractive football, whatever you think that may be, is any Premier League club playing that this season?
No, not consistently. At times, you might see the odd half an hour or the odd game or two, but not consistently. I think as you look at the Premier League now, that fast, free-flowing football has almost changed to how can we do what Arsenal's doing with the set pieces? They're getting so much joy from it. Can we do that now? And that's where it's gone to. That's where it's a full football cycle of it. But as I sit here now with 30-plus games on the board in the Premier League, you're looking at it going, there's no standout team that has been phenomenal with the ball this year.
I've got an Arsenal fan coming up, but first here's how we're joined by Arsenal fan Scarlett Katz Roberts. Good morning to you, Scarlett. Right, Jamie Carragher couldn't really put his finger on why people don't want Arsenal to win the league. So I'm going to run you through a few options. First of all, is it your players? Do your players, quote, rub people up the wrong way?
I'll try and help Jamie. I think it's a combination of things, but mainly I think it's an existential threat. I think seeing a big club who haven't become numb to trophy success for years of winning, seeing them rise to success in an unequal league is really painful, particularly for someone like Jamie Carragher with his Liverpool affiliations. I think when City are winning, you can easily compartmentalize that. You can say that is a club with extreme resources, with access to things we could never imagine. And, you know, ultimately, the City fan base is smaller. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. I don't think people encounter that many City fans all the time. So you can kind of put it away. But I think everybody knows that if Arsenal win the league, they are going to be seeing a lot of parade footage and a lot of happy Arsenal fans, which definitely rubs people up the wrong way.
It is true, though, that a lot of neutrals, for instance, I've seen a load of neutrals that want Tottenham to go down, and they've got no affiliation to Arsenal. There's a lot of neutrals who don't want Arsenal to win the league without having an affiliation to any of your rivals, and they don't support a rival either. So I still think there must be something that is, quote, rubbing people up the wrong way. Is it Mikel Arteta? Do people not like him? Is it the fans? Is there something about you as a fan base that you think other fans don't like?
I think it's difficult to watch because I think ultimately the question becomes, why not me? You know, why not Chelsea? Why not Liverpool? I felt the same thing when I had to watch my twin sister celebrate her league title victory last year because...
Was that when you headbutted her?
That did not happen.
She says it did. She says it did.
But it did not happen. And no, that was when we scored a late winner against Leicester a long time ago. But I think it's difficult to watch people who really want something get what they want. People have dined out on Arsenal's perceived failures for the last 3 years, and they're not going to be able to do it anymore. And ultimately, I think, you know, isn't that the same thing that unites us in wanting to laugh at Tottenham? You can't laugh at Arsenal anymore once they've lifted the title.
Well, why? See, Arsenal haven't been dominating for the last few years. We've been talking about it's been 22 years since they won the title. Normally when a club dominates, Liverpool were doing it kind of in my early days of being a football fan. Then it was Manchester United for years, and Chelsea did it for a little while as well. I can kind of understanding people in this country, when people are at the top, we want to knock them down. That is just true in life, not just in football. But it hasn't been like that for Arsenal. That's why I can't understand it, personally. I don't understand why people are wanting to knock Arsenal down when they haven't even been at the top for long. This is more of an underdog story right now.
Well, I think there's also a perception of the style of play that I'm sure we'll get into that I think is somewhat unfair and, you know, comes off the back of a kind of era where Arsenal were renowned for playing the most beautiful football. But ultimately, I think that's just a stick to beat Arsenal with. You know, it's just another way of saying you're not winning in the right kind of way. And I think all that right kind of way, wrong kind of way is simply the fact that there are a lot of Arsenal fans and a lot of potential enthusiasm and nervousness about it. And I don't think that exists for Man City. I don't think that currently exists for Chelsea because they've had success recently. I think that the one I can compare it to is Liverpool. And it's fair to say, like, Liverpool played better football than Arsenal last season, but where are Liverpool now with their brilliant style of football?
But they're not playing that. Liverpool are not replicating that now, and no one really, anyone in the Premier League are not playing with a certain style of football that is attractive to any paying customer or anything like it. As team, collective, again and again and again, no team is. I'm fully aware of the unfair criticism that people are saying about Arsenal with the set piece FC and stuff. In that regard, they're just better at that in that aspect and the other side of stuff, hence why they are top. Tom, I am going to have to say to you, how can you say Arsenal? What kind of underdog story are we talking about Arsenal here?
No, I know what you mean.
You're saying they have been there knocking on the door. It's not someone that's come from the bottom half. They've been knocking on the door for the last 3 years, seconds or third, where they've been, and been close and close and close, and not had enough to get over the line. And
I'll explain that.
They have built something to get over the line.
I'll explain that. I'm not saying they're Leicester. I'm saying that because Arsenal have not been dominating, they've been getting very, very close. That's why I can't really understand why there is so much of a want from neutrals to not want them to win the league. Whereas I did understand it when the teams are dominating.
I think it is, Scarlett, on there, and you're obviously on there as well. I think it's a big advocate. It does come from social media and what comes on there and what is seen, whether it's from different stations that are on there and different people having their own opinions, and then it's just a gathering of people that come along and how it comes across. I think so at times what we see on there is not very good.
Well, I think also, you know, it challenges the dominant narrative about Arsenal that many people have been making their living on for the past few years. You cannot call a team who win the title bottle jobs. So what do you do then? You know, there are some pundits in particular I can think of who I have no idea what they'll talk about anymore because they can't call Arsenal bottle jobs. And that's what I mean by existential threat. I think it's a threat to the very framework through which people view the Premier League.
It's about time Arsenal won the league, isn't it, for what Mikel Arteta has built up.
That's my point.
Yeah, but it's about time.
I don't see why Arsenal are offending anybody.
They're not offending it. They're the only way I can see they're offending people is because of the fans and what we see on social media. What we are seeing them do on the pitch, it's not offending anyone, is the fans of their own teams are thinking, why can't we replicate this?
So going back to that question of do Arsenal rub people up the wrong way, are you saying, when I asked you, Scarlett, is it the fans? I suppose if we add that to fans on social media, is that a factor?
Yeah, and I think we probably have to draw a distinction here between online football fan world and real life football world.
X is not X or Twitter, it's not real. It's not real.
Exactly.
It's not real life, believe me.
It's a very intense place, and I don't think anyone is their best selves on there. I certainly have found the extremity of the discourse around Arsenal over the years quite frustrating because, quite frankly, I think it's been an added factor in pressurising the team, and some of the negativity on there is really painful to read as a fan. But ultimately, you know, I think Arsenal fans are nervous, and I think that is fair enough. It's absolute hell this season. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've never committed or doubled down on the idea that I think we're going to win the title because it's so competitive. I mean, I think this is maybe not the worst Premier League season there's ever been, but actually I'd reframe it as the most competitive Premier League season we've ever seen. And that is not pretty, and it's not going to be pretty to watch a fan base who haven't won a title in 22 years try and lock in and watch their team win a title.
Well, it'll be the best for a while for you if you win it. Scarlett, thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.